out of the gate that you were partners in hope for St. Jude before Madelyn Ray was ever diagnosed with anything. And, I was with some girlfriends at lunch yesterday, and we were just talking about how you often have the thought, like, this will never happen to me. Because we were talking about actually going in to get an exam for something, and it's like you put off the doctor's appointment, you put it off because it's like, this will never happen to me. And I'm sure for y'all as parents, even signing up to be a partner in hope and support other families that are going through this, you probably still had some of the thoughts of like, gosh, I can't imagine going through this, but it'll probably never happen to me. Glad we can come alongside other families. So why did you become a partner in hope before? I could see now why you would want to be a partner in hope. You've had the St. Jude experience, but what moved you to do it before? And then what has it meant to you now to be one and know that others decide to be one as well?
I was actually listening to the St. Jude Radiothon here with Bobby, and hearing some of the stories. One day I was driving around. It was right after Madelyn was born, and just driving around listening to these stories, and it really tugged at my heart. And I just made the decision that I was going to call. I became a partner in hope, and I put it under Madelyn's name. So,
yeah. And so, how long until Madelyn ended up being diagnosed with something herself?
So that was in 2017, and then she was just diagnosed in 2023. May of 2023. So it was quite a long time.
Okay, so Brittany, what was it like for you? I mean, he was impacted listening to the Radiothon, and then did y'all talk about it later? And you're like, oh, for all these years, yes, we've come alongside St. Jude. We're a partner in hope. And then what is it like when you get that news?
Well, first, we'd always thought when we have kids, we would love to give in their honor to something for their birthday every year. So when he felt the tug for St. Jude, I was like, absolutely. We've heard about St. Jude for years. All the great that goes into it. I've actually had friends that have worked for St. Jude, but never knew the entity to which they truly stay alongside a family. And then we get there, and there's just a sense of peace that came over us, I think, with our decision to be treated there. The families that loved on us from the get-go, going through the same trial, and yet pull each other up through the most difficult time of our lives. That was huge.
And for other families listening right now, which, by the way, thank you for sharing that tradition of, for your kids and their birthdays, donating something in their honor, because I think people even hearing that right now, they might be like, oh, what a beautiful idea, and a way to also teach your kids about giving back and loving on others. But for people that are in their car listening right now and considering becoming a partner in hope, share with how that money makes an impact, the $19 a month, and just how it's life-changing for families like yours and so many others.
I would just say it allowed us to focus on her and her treatment versus how are we going to pay these bills. Even we're a dual income family, an insured family, and yet there were going to be things that insurance would have never touched for us. And it would have made an impact on us and had our thoughts somewhere else beside treating our daughter, making sure she had the best care possible. And we believe it was the best care, the most comprehensive care, mentally, physically, spiritually, all the above.
And that's the thing. If you are listening right now, parents don't have to pay a bill. Like, even when you go to the pharmacy there, you know, we've heard stories of parents like being like, okay, well, I know the treatment and this and that's free, but for these meds and whatnot, maybe I go over and how much do I owe you? And it's like, oh no, there's no bill. Housing, travel, food. And Matt, what about your experience the first time you went to the hospital and you saw what it was actually like and the detail that went into the care for the patients, ensuring that they have a good experience, not only when it comes to getting rid of the cancer, but just still being able to be a kid?
Yeah, I think kind of like what Brittany said, they really took every burden possible off of us that they could. Anything from they have something called the Imagine Room, where it's a huge TV that's probably 15 feet tall, 30 feet wide, something like that. But it's takes all the fun, and these kids are going through the most terrible time in their life, and they just are doing everything possible to make it the best possible thing for these kids.
I know that Madelyn Ray loved the therapy dogs.
Oh, gosh.
So what was that experience like for her and even for y'all, and getting to see the joy that would bring to her?
Yeah, we knew we had an animal lover. We've fostered for years, and we knew that when they gave us that option to bring a therapy dog in, that was a game changer. Because there were days that were hard. There were days she was getting pokes, she was in pain, she couldn't control what was going on to her little body. We would be frustrated, let alone a 6-year-old at the time. And when we met, it was Snuggle for the first time. Oh, the light.
Snuggle was the name of the dog?
Snuggle.
Oh.
She's a golden retriever. And she was just amazing. And Madelyn would just grasp onto her and cry, or truly snuggle with Snuggle. And it made the biggest difference. Cece was also very special. And then they also have reading dogs. They would just sit and snuggle up with the dogs and just read with them. And they were pretty impactful for us.
And I know Madelyn now, is she into horses at the moment? And where are we with what she was originally diagnosed with and where she is now? She's actually here. She's so precious. I saw her with a little cowgirl hat and her bell-bottom pants with boots. But it seems like she's on the shyer side, which we can totally appreciate. This can be a little overwhelming, but she is precious. And so she's working with horses now. And then her diagnosis, where are we with that?
So she does horseback riding lessons once a week. She just got done with her first competition, and she came home with 3 ribbons, which was pretty exciting.
Nice.
In regard to treatment, she finished up in April. And so right now we're just going back every 3 months to St. Jude to have her MRIs for her scans.
Yeah, I know it's a brain tumor that was in her brain. And I was just reading a little bit about the story too, and just how quickly some doctors can recognize, like, right now you qualify for St. Jude, and boom, y'all can go there if you so choose.
Yeah, we sought second opinions. We actually were going to begin treatment, and we had friends and family reach out and just say, just get an opinion from St. Jude. And we're like, yeah, but, we're in great hands. And I had a friend say, call Dr. Gajar, who is like the leading oncologist specifically for medulloblastoma. I emailed him, and within 30 minutes, he called me and changed the course of direction for our treatment, and just put us at ease, and we knew we were going to the right place, which was St. Jude.
And I think that what's so special about that is sometimes, you can think you're in good hands, and then you go to St. Jude and you're like, okay, this is a whole another level of experience. But also, whatever they're learning from that and any research they gather, it's really cool to know, especially since y'all like to do things in your kids' honor, that anything they've learned from any case is shared with hospitals throughout the world. And it's a central location. I mean, y'all don't live, in Memphis, but you were able to travel there easily. And I think that's what's great about where the location is for St. Jude, is people all over the country can get there easily. And, if you're considering becoming a partner in hope, this is just some of the stuff that, one partner can help contribute towards. 10 days of meals for a St. Jude family. 2 partners in hope is 36 blood tests for a St. Jude patient. 3 partners in hope is 3 days of oxygen for a St. Jude patient. 5 partners in hope is 10 sickle cell transition packets for a patient. 7 partners in hope is 1 day of chemotherapy for a St. Jude patient. And then 11 partners in hope would equal 9 hours of physical therapy for a St. Jude patient, which, that's contributing towards a lot. 22 of you right now, if you became partners in hope, that would cover 15 airfares for a patient and a parent. And then 33 partners in hope, well, it's 2 days of ICU care for a St. Jude patient. So when you're supporting St. Jude Research Hospital, you're giving an organization that has really helped push the overall childhood cancer survival rate from 20% to more than 80%. And I'm sitting here right now with Brittany and Matt, parents of a 7-year-old little girl who is alive and doing kid things now because of her time at St. Jude. And so together, we're not going to stop I'm sure now y'all are going to be lifelong supporters. And if you're just tuning in, you maybe missed the beginning part of talking with Brittany and Matt. They were St. Jude Partners in Hope before their daughter was ever diagnosed. So they were already giving back. And the crazy thing is, when they signed up in honor of her, the daughter that eventually would have a brain tumor. So if you ever have a thought, well, I want to come alongside other families, but this would never happen to me, and so maybe I'll figure out supporting something else. Well, this actually could happen to you. So if you're feeling that nudge, you can become a partner in hope for only $19 a month. You can help kids fight cancer. You can help families just exhale a little bit, knowing they don't have the burden of bills. You can text Bobby to 785-833, and then you're going to get a link. That's not spam. You need to click the link. It's just an extra step of protection, actually. So text Bobby to 785-833. Click the link from St. Jude to donate. And when you do, you're going to receive a special edition Pimp and Joy sweatshirt made exclusively for today. It's a black crew neck sweatshirt. It's got the Bobby Bone Show on it. So become a partner in hope. Text Bobby to 785-833. And Matt, you can share again that you became a partner in hope after listening to the Radiothon here on the Bobby Bone Show a few years ago, right?
I did, yes.
Okay.
It was these stories that I heard that really tugged at my heart, and like you said earlier, there's no family should ever have to go through this. But thankfully with St. Jude, it makes it so much better.
Yeah. So Matt and Brittany did it years ago, and then they ended up benefiting from it. Same thing could be for you or a loved one. Become a partner in hope. Again, text Bobby, BOBBY, to 785-833, or you can also call 800-795-1800.
It's a Bobby Bone Show.